Hello everyone, we are getting right into it today, starting with reverse frog hypers. Now, hypers, hip thrusts, kickbacks, these are all horizontal hip extension exercises. And horizontal hip extension exercises work the entire gluteus maximus. So obviously these are going to be staples on glute day. Now, in order to perform this exercise correctly, you want to make sure that your forehead is planted firmly against the bench. You don't want to initiate any movement from your upper body. Your upper body remains flat. It is your butt and your legs that are lifting, and your toes should be pointed to the sky. Okay, so one of the best ways to increase glute activation during the hip thrust is to tuck your chin. Now, other alignment tips include pressing through the heels. You want to make sure that you are at a 90-degree angle at the top of the movement, and your shins should be vertical. Alright, so frog thrusts are very similar to the hip thrust exercise that you just saw. However, this is an even more glute dominant exercise because it takes the quads almost entirely out of the equation. So definitely a staple for glute day. Moving right along into deadlifts. Now, deadlifts are a vertical hip extension exercise, meaning that your lower glute is targeted. So I always try to incorporate some variation on glute day, whether that be sumo, RDLs, or the conventional deadlift. Now, here is an example of how not to perform the deadlift. As you can see, my back is rounded, I'm pulling my shoulders back too far, and I'm overextending at the top. We don't want that. Instead, you want to make sure that the barbell is directly over your feet. You want to hinge at the hips. This is not a squat, so don't go down too far. You want to maintain a neutral spine, and notice that I am not overextending at the top of the movement. I am keeping my glutes engaged, my back is not arched, and my shoulders are not coming back too far either. Now, if you have trouble performing the deadlift, this is a great correctional exercise you can do. You want to grab a kettlebell and hold it behind your butt, and you want to come down to a 90-degree angle. Now, notice that the kettlebell prevents me from squatting. It also prevents my back from being curved and from being overextended at the top of the movement. So, like I said, this is a great correctional exercise. If you have trouble maintaining proper deadlift form, this would be the exercise I would recommend to you. Alright, so the Bulgarian lunge is another excellent glute exercise. However, many people unintentionally work their quads during this exercise. So in order to get the most out of it, you want to make sure that you are leaning just slightly forward, as you can see I am doing here. That will take the movement out of your quads and place more tension in your glutes. Also, you want to make sure that you are pushing through your heels as you stand, so your feet should be firmly planted on the floor. Now, I like to drop the weights and just pulse a little bit at the end. That just gives my booty a little extra burn. Alright, so as I said in the beginning of this video, kickbacks are a horizontal hip extension exercise, meaning that your entire gluteus maximus is targeted during the movement. So this is also definitely a staple on glute day. Now, you want to make sure that your back is as straight as possible. You can do this standing as well. I like to do it on a bench. And you just want to make sure that you are not arching your back during the movement. That will place a lot of pressure on your low back, which can lead to injury. And of course, it's going to take the tension out of your glutes as well. So you really will be doing yourself a disservice and not getting as much as you could from the exercise. So like I said, make sure you have a flat back. As you can see I have here, you are only pulling from your glutes, and that's going to give your glutes the nice little burn that we're looking for. Alright, so these glute circles are very similar to the exercise that you saw. Obviously, the entire gluteus maximus is being targeted during the kickback. However, the circle just adds a little bit more tension on the side and upper glute. So I like to do these directly after doing the kickbacks, which just adds a little extra burn. Okay, so my gym does not have a glute ham raise machine, which is totally fine because as you can see, I've created my own makeshift version on the Smith machine, which you can do as well. All you need are some plates. You want to make sure you have enough weight so that you don't injure yourself, as well as a Bosu ball and then a barbell pad for your ankles, just so that you don't bruise them up. I've done that before and it is not fun, let me tell you. All right, now this is an eccentric contraction, which basically just means that your muscle lengthens under the load. This is an excellent way to prevent injury. A lot of, especially women, are more prone to ACL injuries due to a quad and hamstring imbalance. So I like to incorporate some type of eccentric contraction on glute day. Okay, so I like to use these last 3 exercises as my glute finisher, and this is going to give your booty a nice burnout. It should be on fire by the end of it. I try to perform all of these exercises until failure, so that's about maybe 15 to 20 reps for 3 to 5 sets each. Now for the hamstring curls, you want to make sure that your hips remain elevated throughout the entire movement, both as you extend and then also as you bring the ball back towards you.
Got me up all night, putting things on the side. What do you have in mind?
So this is going to be the last exercise, and very similar to the frog thrusters, you want to make sure that the soles of your feet are facing each other, and that's just going to really activate the entire gluteus maximus. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. I love you all. Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.